Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Arman and I am candidate A. And then this is my friend, which candidate B, C, and D, which is Aida, Tong, and Atila. Okay, so uh, today we want to discuss about which is the most important factor that contribute to good performance in examination. Okay, shall we start our discussion? Yeah. Okay. So generally, I firmly believe that education should be about much more than exam grades. But school are not going to get rid of exam anytime soon. So students might as well learn to deal with exam as calmly and effectively as possible. So there are a few factors that we will discuss in this discussion that which the most important factor that contribute to good performance in examination. Okay, so firstly, my point about the most important factor which contribute to good performance in examination is self-confidence. What is self-confidence? Self-confidence is the ability to make yourself do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. So it helps you to focus on your goals. It helps you to stick to the work you want to get it done in order to achieve success. When you are focused on your goal, you will complete every single thing that need to be done. Okay, so successful people have laser sharp focus. This helps them achieve great level of success in their life. In addition, uh, self-confidence also prevent us from putting ourselves in the comfort zone. I say this because when you put yourself in the comfort zone, you will think that you can do anything without any effort. So it makes us feeling like we are the greater one without doing nothing. So I remember that The Rock once said, all success begin with self-confidence, self-discipline. It start with you. And Low Hodge once said that without self-discipline, success is impossible, period. So I think that self-discipline is the most important factor which contribute to good performance in examination. That's all from my point. So we uh, continue with candidate B, which is Aida. Can you share about your point? Okay.
Thank you, Abel, for your good point. So in
Assalamualaikum.
in my point, I think that important factor that contribute to good performance in examination is parental support. So there are two ways that the parents give to their children in such physically and emotionally way. So, in terms of physical support, parents provide plenty of books and exercise book in on home. The parents also can invest additional educational opportunities for their children, such as sending them to evening class, tuition, and many more. The parents also can buy some supplements or vitamins for their children as to promote intelligent brain while they are learning. So, another point, which is in terms of emotional support, as a parent, it's important to know about what their children are doing. They might be stressed or sad during their learning session. So parents should be aware of that. Parents parents can give some motivation, advice which helps to boost up their mood instead of nagging or anything that makes the children become more depressed. So therefore, I believe that parental support will be a big contribution for their children to perform very well in examination. So, how about you? Candidate C, Atila.
Thank you, Ada, for your opinion. But in my perspective of views, I think that peer influence really contribute to a good performance in examination. And this kind of influence can be either positive or negative. That peer influence can be through by friends or our best friends or classmates, and this can be categorized into which are cooperation and competition. So first, for the cooperation, we can make a study groups, coaching session, or info sharing. And this will help us to be a better student to excel in each examination that we face. For example, like study group, we studying in a group that working together. So this can generally help us to learn faster than working alone. For example, some of some parts of the textbook that seems completely confusing to us, but this also can be quite clear to others students by learning by studying group. You can learn quickly by simply asking a question instead of spend your time puzzling over the difficulty alone. You can also ask your friends to share your notes if you miss some important concepts or information during the lecture. For the second one, which is competition. So when it comes to academic, the competition is in getting a higher CGPA or getting higher GPA, getting higher grade to compare with other peers. So people tend to get above and beyond society perception of average. So this kind of spirit will help us, especially students, to put a good performance for getting a good result and flying colors in order to rise above conformity and set a new standard so that they will work harder to be the best. All in all, I think that peer influence really contribute to a good performance in examination. So that's all for me. And how about you, Idham?
Okay, thank you for passing the button. So from my point of view, I see that experienced teacher is the most important factors that contribute to students successful in examination, because experienced teacher, they have been in teaching field for a long time, so they know how to answer the question. So they teach the students the techniques to answer this question in the examination perfectly. So and more, experienced teacher, then they know exactly what the students need, and they will bond with students easily. So the students will not feel uncomfortable when they're learning with some experienced teacher. So the students that had an experienced teacher always will score in examination based on the fact that when someone have experienced teachers, they will score and become a successful person. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
So, nice everyone. So I think just now we have discussed a few factors that contribute to good performance in examination. So the question is, which is the most important factor? Okay, which is the most important factor that contribute to good performance in examination? So I want to ask you, Aida, how about you, and how about your point uh, about that factor? Which is the most important factor? Okay.
I think that self-discipline is very important that contribute to good performance in examination. because in fact every student will have some subject that they don't love, or they think that the subject is too hard to handle, cause distraction in life. Therefore, this is why develop self-discipline is very important in order to succeed through those time at or apa ni at, of less motivation. Self-discipline help and encourage students find their way to understand the subject that they don't like. Thus, don't not lose the sight of their goals to achieve good grades. So I think that self-discipline is a very good point.
Okay. Thank you, Aida. So just now we have heard about opinion from Aida. So now we continue with Atila. Okay. How about your point?
From my view, I agree with Aida, and I think that self-discipline is most important factor that could contribute to a good performance in examination. This is because it all depends on us either to put more or less effort on ourselves. And this will help us to learn that we are not alone or feeling scared or getting insecure for getting a good result. And a teenager could also be encouraged on achieving great things by the accomplishment by each individual. So this is a healthy attitude that could stand a teenager in guiding them through a good life. So that's from my view. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you from your explanation, Atila. So, Ilham, I just want to hear about your point. I think you have a good point about this. So, which is the most important factor that contribute to good performance in examination?
From my opinion, even though I said that experienced teacher is the most important factors, but I think self-discipline is much important than experienced teacher, because if the students does not have self-discipline, even experienced teacher can't do anything about the student. Experienced teacher just wants to teach someone that want to learn and have the will to learn and score in examination. So I think self-discipline is pretty much the most important factor for students to score in examination.
Okay, thank you, Tong. So, from my point, I think that self-confidence is the most important factor that contribute to good performance in examination. That's why, okay, it is because it will help and shape our identity to be a better one. So, from that point, that view about the which is the most important factor, I think that self-confidence, self-discipline is the most important factor, and we all agree about that. So, in conclusion, I could say that a lot of us agree that definitely most important factor which contribute to good performance in examination. Remember that everyone is always in motion at some time in their life. They are either going up and getting better, or they can be falling back. So It is because learning. Oh, okay, it's because learning is a never-ending process. Okay, so that's all from us. Thank you. We end our discussion.